It's dripping with money, but fighting for space. On this week's Fast Track, we head to Monaco to find out why some locals are falling out of love with high-rise high rollers.
Monaco is the most densely populated place in the world, but where to build? There are two solutions. Either you build up or into the sea.
We're in Canada to meet a tribe using tourism to help preserve its way of life. And
a walk on the wild side. Find out more on Insider Guide.
Hello and welcome to Fast Track. I'm Fiona Foster. Now we're starting today's programme in the most densely populated place on Earth. And I'm not talking Tokyo or Hong Kong or London, I'm talking about a tiny principality on the French Riviera, known for its glamour, not so well known for its urban planning headaches. We sent Emma Jane Kirby to Monaco to find out how you cram even more wealthy socialites into an already oversubscribed piece of land and the problems that's starting to cause.
At barely 2 kilometres long, this little sliver of mountainside is a magnet to the world's rich and famous. And they're crammed in here. It's difficult to find a single plot of land which isn't built up. Monaco is the most densely populated place in the world, yet every year more and more people want to come here and call it home. But where to put them, where to build? There are two solutions. Either you build up or into the sea. Construction works, cranes and bulldozers have become part of daily Monegasque life. This estate agent welcomes the new building projects. As she gave me a guided tour around Monaco, she told me she's swamped by clients wanting bigger and better apartments.
There are much more people living here than 20 years ago. And all the new people who are moving into Monaco are really quite young, coming with lots of children and are mostly active still in their business life. They ask for modern, luxurious building because the people who are coming into Monaco are more and more rich. They are really demanding. They are asking for a lot of space, nice sea views, nice quality of life.
The high-rise living, of course, does come at a price. Monaco tops the list of the world's most expensive housing markets, but this tower block trumps them all. The 170-metre-tall Tour Odéon will be the second tallest building on the Mediterranean coastline. The penthouse apartment will cover the top 5 floors and is rumoured to be on sale for the sky-high price of around $400 million, which would make it the most expensive apartment in the world.
I have to say, I can understand why somebody would want the penthouse apartment. The view is amazing.
This is all the living area where we have some zone with double high ceiling. This is more than 6 meters, and you can imagine it with all the glass facade. And this is the stairs bringing up to a saloon with a bar. That can be a living area or a discotheque. From that, actually, there is a toboggan. A slide jumping in the pool.
A lot of people in Monaco, though, say, enough towers. You're destroying our heritage with these towers.
The tower inserts well in the sides because you can see there are other buildings next to here that are also high-rise buildings. So at the end, if you take a picture before and after, it goes quite well. And you can trust me when I say you that a lot of people, when we told them that we finished to construct the concrete work, tell us why you don't build other floor.
Monaco's old town feels very different from the rest of the country. Lovely windy, narrow streets and pastel colours. And some local residents are concerned that this new drive to build big, high towers is really spoiling the look of the country. These local residents are so angry about all the building works that they've even formed their own political party to contest the construction boom. They fear Monaco is knocking down its historical buildings to make way for new residential blocks.
Visitez Monaco, prenez votre voiture ou même en bus.
Visit Monaco, take your car or go by bus, and you'll be horrified by the number of cranes you'll see per square metre. It's incredible. Of course, I understand we need to expand and change, but not any old how and anywhere. We need to preserve our DNA. The DNA of Monaco and its people is being wiped out.
Non, on ne peut pas accepter cela.
We cannot accept this. Monaco is not about concrete. Look at the Sporting d'Hiver, the only Art Deco building in Monaco, which is about to be demolished. Should it really disappear in favour of high-rise towers of concrete and glass? We say no.
Monaco's largely state-owned builder, SBM, didn't grant us permission to film the historic centre of Monte Carlo, nor the Sporting d'Hiver building which it's about to knock down. We were unable to meet them while we were filming, but they did send us this statement.
This new project clearly reflects the strategic vision of the Principality of Monaco to be a business and convention centre, provide high-quality residential accommodation, organise cultural activities and attract high-class international retail brands, thus favouring economic development and creating several hundred new jobs.
In Monte Carlo's new museum, an exhibition shows the phenomenal growth spurt of this little country. The curator shows me maps to explain Monaco's historical pattern of building, knocking down, and then building again.
The architecture seems to be like a set for the opera, you know. It will change, you know, every 50 years, every 20 years, you know, with the changing of the practice of the people, of the client who come to Monaco. The government have got to imagine something else.
Monaco hasn't just built up, of course. Angela has driven me to Fontvieille, the part of the country which was built almost 30 years ago on reclaimed land.
In here, it's very nice because you have a little marina. It's quiet, it's no noise. You can have your boat here, which is really charming. You have lovely restaurants here.
And they're going to do it all over again. This spring, Monaco's prince announced a plan to build another 6-hectare peninsula into the Mediterranean. No need, though, to race for apartments quite yet. Building work is expected to take at least a decade.
Emma Jane Kirby in a place with oodles of money, but a real shortage of space for building new developments. And do let us know what you think of that story or anything else on the programme for that matter. We'd love to hear your views as ever. Get in touch with us at fasttrack@bbc.com. Now let's have a look at what's been making travel headlines across the world this week.
A storm has battered the northwest of Europe, claiming at least 15 lives and causing transport chaos for travellers. Record winds of nearly 200 kilometres per hour were measured off the North Sea, resulting in flight and ferry cancellations and major delays across several European countries.
We didn't know whether the train was leaving or not, and then we were told to go to platform 1. We had to run after masses of people. It was chaotic.
New York's Ellis Island has reopened to the public a year after Hurricane Sandy forced it to close. Tourists travelling by ferry to the Statue of Liberty can now disembark at the landmark, which has seen extensive repairs carried out over the past 12 months. The historic site saw more than 12 million immigrants pass through it between 1892 and 1954.
We were glad that we could get to the Statue of Liberty, and while we were going there, we heard that Ellis Island was opening up on Monday. We're not leaving till a little later today, so we got up early, got on that first boat, and here we are, and we're anxious to get inside and take a look at history.
Dubai's high-tech Al Maktoum International Airport welcomed its first commercial flight this week. The service, which carried a modest 100 passengers, touched down from Budapest. The airport's designers hope it will become the world's busiest within the next 10 years, carrying up to 160 million passengers annually. And a railway tunnel linking the European and Asian shores of Istanbul has opened. Work began on the project in 2004, but was delayed due to archaeological excavations. The service is capable of carrying 75,000 people per hour in either direction, and is the first in the world to link two continents.
We are travelling to the European side. We are very proud and happy. This is a window opening up the world for us, and also a sign of modern civilization. This is an indication that Turkey has reached the level of other developed countries of the world.
Time for a short break now, but when we come back, Michelle will be here with her regular Insider Guide and news on where you've got to get the best view of the upcoming total eclipse of the sun. And we head to Canada to meet a group of people fighting to preserve their way of life. See you shortly.
Hello, I'm Michelle Yana-Chan, and this is Fast Track's Insider Guide with my top travel tips from around the world. India will glow during Diwali, the 5-day Hindu festival of lights, which begins on November 3rd. The lighting of clay lamps and setting off firecrackers represent the triumph of good over evil. Tourists may best experience the festival using homestay accommodation where they can join in traditional family rituals. Favourite destinations include Jaipur, Varanasi and the lake in Udaipur, where oil lamps cast a reflection on the water. A month later, the Hornbill Festival takes place near Kohima in India's Nagaland region. There'll be song and dance in tribal costume and traditional sports like archery and wrestling, all said to honour the hornbill, a bird long admired by the Naga people for its majesty and alertness. It started as a small movement and became one of the most influential of design schools, Bauhaus in Germany. This year marks the 150th anniversary of the birth of Bauhaus pioneer Henry van der Velde, the Flemish artist and revolutionary designer. His legacy is being commemorated with exhibitions, guided tours and events across this dynamic region, which includes Weimar, the birthplace of Bauhaus. Moving in their millions. At this time of year, there's a massive migration of the African fruit bat to a corner of Zambia. It's an astonishing scene as the bats make their way from all over southern Africa to Kasanka National Park. The spectacle's best watched as dusk approaches when the bats leave their roosts, filling the night skies. This is an excellent time of year to do a walking safari in Zambia, the country which pioneered exploration of the bush by foot. There's always a chance of seeing large mammals, of course, but this kind of experience is more about the wilderness as a whole. Take good hiking shoes, wear neutral colours, and ask the guide lots of questions, but in a whisper. On November 3rd, there'll be a total eclipse of the sun, best seen across the Central Africa belt. An historical place to witness the astronomical event will be Rossasundi, a ruined plantation in Sao Tome and Principe. This is where Arthur Eddington witnessed a total solar eclipse in 1919, which helped him confirm Einstein's theory of relativity. Let's hope the clouds stay away. And stay looking up, because some say the recently discovered comet Ison may be the most staggeringly beautiful of the century. But then again, since comets are fickle beasts, it could fizzle out. If it performs, it may be visible not only by night, but also by day. In Rome, the 12th International Festival of Sacred Music and Art is playing until November 10th. With the Vienna Philharmonic as orchestra in residence, performances take place in basilicas across the city, raising funds to restore architectural and artworks at these locations. Thanks for checking in with my Insider Guide. Let me know of anything special happening in your part of the world at fasttrack@bbc.com. Until next time, happy travelling.
Thanks, Michelle. Now, here at Fast Track, we are always striving to give you insights into potential new travel destinations. And our next stop is just that. We've been to Canada to meet some of the Indigenous people of the northwestern coast of British Columbia. Many of them live on reserves and gaining access to them is difficult. But as Brandy Yanchik now reports, some of them are turning to tourism to try and preserve their unique way of life.
The Haida First Nation are celebrating. It's the first carved totem pole they've raised in this protected area in over 130 years. It's a symbol marking the 20th anniversary of the agreement these Aboriginal people have with the Canadian government to protect their homeland.
Raising a pole again in Guayhanas, I think, signifies our resurgence and our resiliency to repopulate and take back our culture and begin to put place markers back into our traditional village sites.
The fact that the Haida culture is thriving is an achievement in itself. Canada's First Nations peoples have had a troubled past when it comes to their treatment by the government. Starting in the 1870s until around the 1970s, children who were First Nations were taken away from their parents and they were sent to boarding and residential schools. Their cultural practices and languages were banned. The government has apologized, but healing and reconciliation is going to be a very long and complicated process. Today, the Haida Heritage Center in Skidegate is a place where tourists can learn about Haida culture, past and present.
Since the Haida Heritage Center opened, I mean, obviously that created a venue, created a gathering place for visitors to come and experience and learn about our culture from our point of view. Before this, people would kind of come and experience the nature, but didn't always get those opportunities to meet people and learn personally from another Haida person.
This is where I met artist Jalin Edenshaw, who carved the legacy totem pole that was raised in Guayhanes.
The inspiration behind the pole is just different stories taken from down in Guayhanes, particularly the protection of the area.
So what are we doing now?
Okay, we're going to add the bottom of this. This is the part that's going to go into the ground, and you know, it's important to get this corner off or else it'll catch. You could try adzing with this. Important not to pry, it's more of a motion with your wrist. So, you hold it.
Okay. Many are drawn to the islands of Haida Gwaii because it is famous for sea kayaking. Most tourists rent kayaks for a week and explore the Guayhanes National Park Reserve and Haida Heritage Site. It costs around $400 for 2 people to rent kayaks. An 8-day guided kayaking tour costs around $2,000 per person. During their trip, many people visit the century-old cedar poles and longhouse remains at the Haida Heritage Sites. Art is one of the main ways tourists have been connecting with the Haida people. An art route has been created throughout Haida Gwaii, which lists artists who welcome visits from the public.
My generation and my children's generation really are stepping up to the plate and relearning old traditions and wanting to be part of the culture as well as the art.
Once we've roasted the spruce roots, the next step is to get this outer bark off, and that's what this stick is here for. It's called the ina.
The open-door policy of these artists and the opportunity to make one-on-one connections with the Haida shows just how alive their culture really is and how much they want the world to know about it.
Oh, I'm an expert.
Brandy Yanchik reporting from the northwestern coast of British Columbia. And that's it for this week, but do try and join us again next week for this.
If there's one city that symbolises China's breakneck speed of growth over the last 20 years, it's this one, Shanghai. It was once Asia's busiest trading port, but its lustre faded up until the 1990s, and then that skyline appeared.
How high can they go, these buildings? Is there a limit to how high they can go?
Well, virtually there's no limit. Dream of a building, and then we engineers will have to realize their dreams.
So do try and join us for that if you can. In the meantime, you can keep up to date with all our trips and travel features on our website, bbc.com/fasttrack. And of course, we're on social media, so why not check us out on our Facebook, Twitter and Pinterest pages. But from me for now and the rest of the team, wherever you're heading next, have a great trip. Bye-bye.